welcome. It's Nancy. And as we discussed, we're going to start a Christmas project today. So this can be a craft along. Each video we'll do a different part of the project together. The first part that I want to do today is the cover, and I'm going to discuss some options with you. So we can do a couple of things, and then I'll tell you what I'm going to do. So we can do a book. This is a book from 1948 called Santa's Footprints. The spine is a good size for about 3 signatures, 3 small signatures. The way I do them, you know the way I do them. We can also do a cardstock cover. I'm going to cut this cardstock right now because I will be making a pink journal as well. So this is going to be in the range of a I was just looking at this thinking I gotta flip it around. A traveler's notebook size. So I'm going to cut this 9 inches high. I believe a traveler's notebook is shorter than that, but for my purposes, I'm cutting it 9 inches. That's why I don't like. I think I need a new blade. Then I am going to flip this over. I'm going to score as soon as I find my bone folder. I'm going to score at 4 3/4. And I'm going to score at 4 3/4 from the fold. Perfect. Okay, so that's going to be the cover of Pink Journal. Or here's a third option. This one is going to be fabric covered, and I'm going to use this empty box. So I'll give you some measurements for this box as soon as I get it open. So this is going to represent the spine. So it's 1 7/8 ish. And the height is about 8 3/4. That's not a bad size. And the width of the box is about 6 3/8. So I am going to cut this down. So maybe I'll turn it. So from this fold line, I'm going to cut it about 5 inches. I'm going to cut just the bottom edge off. I had to sort of take it off the purple thing there so that I could get it flat. Okay. And how tall do I want to go? About 8.5. Are you looking at this fiddle faddle and thinking, I could go for some fiddle faddle? Got it at the Dollar Tree. Okay. So where's the scoreboard? I'm going to use the scoreboard again. And the reason we're going to use the scoreboard is because I want to get a rounded spine here. So this is about 5 inches. So every 1/8 of an inch, score a line. Okay, now, how will I demonstrate this? In order to get this round, I've just laid down some my glue bottle here. So this isn't going to be a stiff, it's going to be a soft, mushy spine. And I hope that's okay with you. But if you do want a stiffer spine, you can cut 2 pieces of file folder. About, what did we say this was? Now I have to measure it again. Yeah, about 2 7/8 inches by 8.5 inches. Glue it together with this tacky, or not tacky glue, fiber tack. No, Fabri-Tac. That's what it's called. With Fabri-Tac, and wrap it on a rolling pin. You've seen me do it 100 times. There, I'm just rubbing that on the edge of my table to make it round again now that I've crushed it by re-measuring it. Okay. I'm going to cover this with fabric. And I'm going to use Fabri-Tac, of course, for the spine. And the fabric that I'm going to use is going to be this one. So I'm just going to cut this a little larger than the box. It's just a piece of ticking that I got at Joanne Joanne Fabrics last week. So I'm just doing a frame of the Fabri-Tac. Oh my gosh. And I'm just spreading it out with my silicone brush here. I will be stitching. If you're not stitching, you might want to put glue everywhere. I want to make sure that this goes on straight, so I'm going to turn the fabric upside down and put the box right against that stripe. Somebody's got a bubble. Okay. I'm not going to worry about the spine too much. Because I don't want it stiff. I want it to be really mushy. But it's just mainly front and back covers that I'm keen to see stuck. Okay, so you'll see that if this is open here, and that's the way I want it. Okay. I'm going to cut the corners off a bit. If you want a rough edge, just don't follow this. What I mean, like a raggedy edge. If you want a raggedy edge, then don't do this part. Just you would just trim your fabric down. So what I want is the reason I'm using the silicone brush is just to make the glue thin so that it doesn't seep through the fabric. And the reason I trimmed those corners out is to remove any bulk This doesn't have to be terribly neat, but the neater it is, the happier you're going to be with the finished project. Just adding a little extra glue in those corners. And then making sure that gets tucked in there. Just kind of doing a little tiny flip there, just enough to hold in any rough edge. And then make sure it's good and square there, not sticking out. So here I need a little more glue. All right. Again, I'm not gluing anything there. I want it to hang loose. I don't think that would show, but better safe than sorry. Make sure these strips are going straight and I'm not pulling them askew. Just turning the raw edge over just a smidge, just to miter it. Whoop. I feel like I've cut this just a little too short, so I'm going in with a little bit of art glitter glue to keep it from unraveling. Because I want good coverage of the board, the book board, the package. Any loose threads, I'm pressing into the glue. Okay. being fussy. Making sure my stripes are going the right direction. Pushing that corner back down in there. Yes, I grabbed the wrong glue. That's all right. This will work too. Now, if I wasn't real sure that this corner was going to stick down, I just put a little clip on there. The other ones look good. So here we go with that. Okay. But the real project I wanted to do, that's not scrapbook paper, that's not fabric, and that's not a book cover. We're going to make a cover using paper. So I've got an envelope here from the Ontario Health Cancer Care Ontario. So I'm just starting with this big envelope. And again, I'm going to cut this down to, I want it 9 inches by 4 3/4. So I'm going to cut it 4 3/4 from the folded edge. I'm just going to take it off camera for a second while I do that. Okay. So I cut this part off the top. So it's 4 3/4 this way. And then the other way I want 9 inches. So I'm going to cut off this edge and that edge. And I'll just take it off camera for a second while I do that. This little purple mat has been really great in helping me to stay in frame while I'm doing projects, but it is a pain in the butt when I need to cut bigger pieces of paper in an exact measurement, because it's a little, I guess I could have done this one. I could have. Okay. Now, we've got some options. We can use painter's paper. We can use lunch bags. Or we can use recycled packaging. I'm not going to use packaging because I ironed all of this and folded all of this. This will be used for pages. Lunch bags cost money. So I'm just going to rip off a piece. I don't know, what's that, 12 by 12? Next, I'm just going to tear some strips. Some of them, they can be narrower. If you want to hand tear these, be my guest. If you want to use a tear ruler to get a really raggedy edge, also cool. So how was Halloween for you? As predicted, I had no trick-or-treaters last night. I'm still working on packaging up the seam binding, and I've had quite a few contacts about that. I am working on it, but there's a lot of measuring that has to happen. And trying to keep everything neat and organized has been a challenge, to say the least. Now, I'll just get a little short ruler here. So we're going to do various sizes. So you can do, I'm just going to take that off so I have a torn edge. It's very subtle, but it's torn. Nonetheless. So we're kind of going to do squares and bricks. No need to measure. I just know that this is how I operate. I'm fussy and I can't change. I'm too old to change. So I'm just sort of squares, bricks, longer squares, or shorter bricks. Well, that's not very square. Yeah, that's better. Few more and we'll be all set. You might be thinking, oh, I don't know if I want to do this project with you, Nancy. What's the final thing going to look like? I don't know yet. The good thing is there's going to be lots of options. So if I tell you to do this, that, or the other thing, there's going to be an option for something else. If you don't have that supply, you don't like that supply, you had something in mind that you wanted to use, we can make that happen. All right, so we got lots of little bits. Okay, I gotta grab some paint, or not paint. Hang on. I know what I mean. I said paint because I was thinking paintbrush. So I've already glued down one of my little squares. I am using PVA. and I'm brushing it on with a brush. If you want to use glue stick, absolutely will work. If you want to use Mod Podge, absolutely will work. I would not say using ordinary white glue in a standard way will work, because you need to get the glue right to the edge. So I am just going to collage this on, and you can either overhang just a little bit or bring it right up to the edge. Make sure nothing is showing. If you don't have an envelope, you could use a piece of like a grocery paper grocery bag, or shopping bag, I guess. Any kind of shopping bag, doesn't have to be grocery. Just, you know, just have at it. Don't, you know, try to make a pattern. Like, I wouldn't try to make it look like a pattern. You know, if it's starting to look a little too patterny, I would break it up a bit. And I'm just doing it on this plastic bag because it's a little neater. Now, when you come to the fold, you want a piece big enough that it overlaps the fold. If you have it too close to the fold like this, for example, if you had it just a 1/4 inch or an 1/8 inch, when you close the book, it's going to pop up and you're going to hate yourself. If you want to do both sides, you can. If, for example, you're using an envelope that's a different color and you're not happy with it. Okay, I'm just going to make sure this still folds. Or if you just want to do one side, in my prototype, I did the squares and bricks for the front, and on the inside, I just took a piece of the painter's masking paper and glued it whole. Need a little piece, so I'm just going to tear a little piece. Mop up some of this glue. I think you see where this is going. I won't make you watch me. So I'm going to pause now and finish gluing down all my bricks and squares. Okay, so it's still a little damp, but the entire outside is covered. I did, however, give you the wrong measurements. So this was 8.5 inches tall and 9 inches wide. So 4 and what do you call that? 4.5. I might leave it at 4 3/4 though. Like that makes sense to me. I think I'm gonna leave it at 4 3/4. But I did only intend for it to be 8.5 inches tall. So here I've already cut it down a half to 8.5 inches. But I'm gonna leave it the 4 3/4 across. Okay. So yours is probably all looking super wrinkly. That's okay. If just sort of train it in the way you want it to go. You can put it under your cutting mat once it's a little drier. You can put some heavy books on top of it. Put some plastic down first so that it doesn't accidentally stick to the cover of the book that you put on top. And put it in a book press if you want to. This one I'm not going to cover the inside. I'm happy with the color that it is. This prototype I covered because this was a white envelope. Now, the one thing I did do here is I put extra squares in the corners just to make sure that the corners were a little tougher. And I can't see any good reason not to do it on this one, except that it's a different color. Let me think about it. If that doesn't matter to you, go ahead and stick these 4 extra corners on. Me, I don't know. I don't want to use different colors in the corners. What I could do is now that it's a little dry, I'll add extra corners to the front. Because those corners can get kind of bendy. This is on its way to being on the drier side of things. Otherwise, I probably would have waited. Because otherwise, I'd have a big soggy mess on my hands in those corners. My glue's getting dry. Okay, there we go. Gonna let that dry. Next time we get together, we're going to, what are we going to do? We're going to start working on some of the pages. Oh, no. And we're going to do some more work on the covers of this one. And perhaps other ones as well. We might do something. But for this one, we're going to be doing some gesso. So make sure if you don't want to do gesso, you can use paint. Just making that edge down, stay down. And hopefully we can start assembling some interior pages. We're just going to do a page or two at a time, like we've done in other projects together. There, let it dry like that. And you know, sometimes we'll get 2 or 3 pages done. Sometimes we'll get 1 page done. Just depends. But for sure, next time we're going to do some gesso, and maybe some stamping. We'll see how it goes. All right, you take care. We'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.